Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this special meeting of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment today, Wednesday, November 4th, 2020 at 11 a.m. Stephanie, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Cruzen,
I'm here.
Comptroller Green,
Here.
President Reed,
Here.
all present.
Thank you so much. So we have a fairly short agenda for today, beginning with item number, this item is deferred from our October 21st, 2020 regular meeting. It was item number 15, 21.040. Request from the President of the Board of Aldermen's Office, Chief of Staff for approval of Board Bill 114. This ordinance establishes the Justice for St. Louis Families Fund and transfers $2 million from the city's reserve fund to the Justice for St. Louis Fund to provide cash rewards for certain tips and leads related to the crime of murder in the city of St. Louis. Now, items presented for the, I'm sorry, Mr. President Reed.
Yes, I'm gonna, I'll wait until we bring out all items, but I'm going to request that we defer on item number 15.
The same item that we deferred from last month. Great.
Yes,
So
yes.
continuing with the agenda here, we'll come back to that if we could. Items presented for the first time today. Item number 1, 21.041. Request from the Comptroller's Office for approval of contracts and leases for various city departments as listed on Exhibit A. Number 2, 21.042. Request from the Comptroller's Office for approval of intra-departmental and interdepartmental transfers from various city departments as listed on Exhibit B. Number 3, 21.043. Request from the Mayor's Office, Director of Operations for approval of a transfer of funds in the amount of $250,000 in accordance with Ordinance Number 71182 from Fund 1410 Center 120-2020 CARE Pandemic 2020 Contingency to the Department of Human Services Fund 1410 Center 800-2001 account 5659710 to provide financial assistance for shower trailers, blankets, sheets, cots, supplies, and tiny house rent and property improvements. Number 4, 21.044, request from the Mayor's Office, Director of Operations for approval of a transfer of funds in the amount of $80,000 in accordance with Ordinance Number 71182 from Fund 1410 Center 120-2020 CARE Pandemic 2020 Contingency to the Department of Human Services Fund 1410 Center 800-2001 account 5659710 to replace windows at the Hogan Street building to ensure energy efficiency. Number 5, 21.045, request from the Mayor's Office, Director of Operations for approval of a transfer of funds in the amount of $1,750,000 in accordance with Ordinance Number 71182 from Fund 1410 Center 120-2020 CARE Pandemic 2020 Contingency to the Community Development Association to provide additional utility assistance for city residents and hospitality industry businesses and other small businesses adversely affected by COVID. Number 6, 21.046, request from the Mayor's Office, Director of Operations for approval of a transfer of funds in the amount of $150 in accordance with Ordinance 71182 from Fund 1410 Center 120-2020 CARE Pandemic 2020 Contingency to the Department of Health Fund 1410 Center 700-2000 account 5659000 to support early child care and education agencies. And number 7, 21.047, request from the President of the Board of Aldermen's Office for approval of a cooperative agreement with St. Louis Regional Crime Commission related to Board Bill 114. That's the extent of the agenda for this morning.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to take item 15 and 7 up separately. And if there isn't any other items to be separated out, I'd move for adoption of items 1 through 6.
Are you moving for adoption
Item-
1 through 7?
1 through 6.
Okay.
'Cause I'd like to take
That's
7
fine.
up separately.
Okay, so we have a motion for the adoption of items 1 through 6. Is there a second?
I second items 1 through 6 with discussion, please.
Absolutely. Okay, so items 1 through 6 has been a motion and a second. I have a couple comments that I'd like to make about items 1 through 6 for clarification. In item number 1, which is the request from the Comptroller's office for certain contracts and leases, and item number 5 and 6 are related. And what they do, just for the public's information, is they transfer $1,250,000 over to St. Louis Development Corporation. It's a contract and transfers to St. Louis Development Corporations to help with additional funding for small business. They also provide $500,000 in additional utility assistance funding for Heat Up St. Louis and $680,000 to the Mental Health Board for additional funding for our childcare facilities. So per usual, it has to be done in a couple of different steps, but that I think is the important summary of those items that I'd like to point out. Is there further discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. Regarding the transfers from the CARES funding, I just wanted to bring up that the utility allocation made earlier $3 million, the original $3 million dollars. I'm wondering if there's a balance pending to be allocated from the original $3 million. That is what I am bringing up regarding discussion this morning.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Yes, the $3 million was $1 million from CARES Act and $2 million from block grant money. The CARES Act money that $1 million has been spent, and there are additional folks waiting to have their utilities taken care of. The block grant money can be spent in next year. So this is $500,000 from the CARES Act contingency. So the total will be $3.5 million, but not all spent in this year.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Is there any other discussion on items 1 through 6?
No, not me.
All in favor of passing items 1 through 6, please say aye.
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 Thank you. That sounded unanimous for items 1 through 6. Now, do we have a motion on the item that's deferred or item number 7?
Item number 15, based on, I'm deferring that for now based on some of the things that we're doing in today's meeting, like in item 2, where we're transferring the $400,000 from departments into an account. So, and then item number 7, a cooperative, the structure or a draft of a cooperative agreement that we need to send to that I recommend we get to the city councilor to begin looking at and working with the Crime Commission on, so that we can get a cooperative agreement in place sooner than later. So for that reason, I'm deferring item 15, the adoption of the board bill, because there are a lot of changes that we're making to the board bill based on some of the things that we've done here at the Board of E&A. But I will move I'd like to, we can either move, make a motion to send this draft cooperative agreement to the city councilor so the city council can begin working on it, or Mayor, you can just, direct the city councilor to begin working out a cooperative agreement with the St. Louis Regional Crime Commission using this structure, which represents a lot of the things that we've covered and spoke about at the last couple of meetings, and some of the things that typically would be in a cooperative agreement between the Regional Crime Commission and the city of St. Louis.
So, Mr. President, we have already asked the city councilor's office to take a look at that. I got it yesterday. I read it. I understand. I think what the intent of that is, which is to provide additional funding for rewards for to solve murders that happen in our city. Understand that. And also the intent is to be able to advertise, for lack of a better word, but get the message out. So
Exactly.
the intent of that agreement. I have asked and will hopefully have something back shortly from the city councilor's office
Okay.
as to what their thoughts are on the agreement. And so before we approve it, I would like to have that input.
I agree. I agree with
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I completely.
So would you like to defer item number 7?
Yeah, we can defer item number 7 also. I just wanted to get it out there so that we can begin working on it. But I agree with that.
Right. And as you pointed out, in item number 2, we did transfer the funds. Thanks.
Yes.
The comptroller working with the budget director basically found $50,000 primarily in payroll services, payroll that isn't being spent this year in various budget departments, transferring it into a new account. So that's a very big step. And frankly, might be all that's needed, but of course we need to get this MOU with the Crime Stoppers in place, Crime Commission in place.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll defer item number 15, which was deferred from last time, and we'll defer item number 7, and we'll take it up at our next meeting if it's ready.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I do have a question.
Okay.
My question is to item 15, in terms of deferring, or are we needing to remove it because it's being replaced by item number 7? So that's my question. Or is there going to be a board bill? So I'm unclear.
That's part of what, thanks for the question, Madam Comptroller. That's part of what we're working out right now with some of these changes. So we're going to be working with the clerk and, the attorney at the Board of Aldermen to work through that. But I think now that we have the MOU moving, which is good, and we've made the transfer, we have some movement on it. So I think we need to, again, we're going to be working out what the final form of that board bill would look like, and what we need to do moving forward based on where we are now and based on the discussions we've had at E&A also. So, which is why I'm just deferring it for right now.
Okay, so the motion is to defer both.
No,
Item
I did.
And
Yeah.
item 7.
No, I didn't make a motion. I just it's a simple request because we're not taking them up today. If I had a date certain, I would make a motion, to defer them until the next regularly scheduled meeting, or until, for 2 weeks or whatever, like we did before. But for right now, I'm just, I don't think we need to do that. I'm just simply, saying that we're not as the sponsor of both of those issues, I'm saying that I don't wish to take any action on them today.
So I hear you, and I guess want to be clear as to how the next agenda will be put together. So that's basically my question has to do with, are we removing into further notice, or are we going to be able to see these items come back on the very next agenda? So some direction is what I'm asking for here.
Okay, I will, my office will, through pre-ENA, will notify the other members of pre-ENA of any wish to bring the item back. You know, and, you know, of course, Stephanie would get notice also if we wish to bring the item back at a later date.
So here's what I'm hearing from you, and correct me if I'm wrong. No action taken on item 15, no action taken on item 7. And if that is correct, that is how the minutes will read. I'm also hearing that there is no deferral on either item, which means it's not automatically brought back to the agenda for the next ENA. That's what I'm hearing. I'm not sure if that's the intent.
That's true, because we will notify both you and the mayor when and if we bring back the items. Item number 7, the mayor has already begun to take the action that we were, that item number 7, which would have to happen with item number 7, which she's already sent it to the city council's office. So we're going to be awaiting the information back from the city council's office. I'm assuming the mayor's office will notify us when she gets the information back from the city council's office. And she said on item number 7, they will update us at the next meeting, is what she stated. But if you would like, we can make a motion that item 7 comes back at the next regularly scheduled ENA or in the next 2 weeks or whatever, and we can come back for another special ENA also for item number 7.
For record keeping sake, normally we use the same number, which is read in addition to the number 15 or number 7, there's an additional number. And for record keeping, we will be keeping that same number. Okay. So that's why I was trying to be clear. Just like a board bill would carry its same number forward, these items carry their numbers forward. And so if there's no action, then, you know, I understand that.
All right. Why don't we do this? Would you, I can make a motion that for item number 7, 21.047, request from the President of the Board of Aldermen's office for approval of a cooperative agreement with St. Louis Regional Crime Commission related to Board Bill number 114. Make a request that we come back in 2 weeks or whenever the mayor would think that the city council will have reviewed that and have a cooperative agreement ready to go. So Mayor, do you think we can do that in the next couple of weeks? If we can, I'd be willing to come back for a.
So we will get information from the city councilor's office as soon as possible. I think that rather than having me decide when it comes back, this is initiated by your office. So to me, why don't you just let us know in the normal course of business, like you would put a new item on? Why don't you just let the pre-ENA, the members know when you're ready to put it back on the agenda?
All right, perfect.
If that's agreeable.
Yep, that's agreeable.
Okay.
So the action that we're taking is to defer this until further notice. It's just a formality because this is a formal meeting. That's why I'm asking.
Yes, we could. Yes, and you can have the same line item number and.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. I move for. I move for adjournment of this meeting of the Board of ENA.
Second. All in favor?
Aye,
E and A. Aye.
aye.
Great. Thank you all. Appreciate it.